Hello everyone, this is Moshe, the Electric Israeli and FSD. If you're new, please subscribe and help me change the world one electric car at a time. Thank you to all my supporters. Support me on Patreon. If you're in the market to buy a Tesla car, please use my referral code. This video is sponsored by EVBase. More about that later. I've been driving Tesla cars since 2018. My first Tesla was in 2018. Rear-wheel drive, Tesla Model 3, long range, 310 miles. I loved it. Then in 2021, I traded it for 2021 dual motor Tesla Model 3, also black. I still have it until today. In 2020, I bought a Tesla Model Y white one. A year later, I traded it in for a Tesla Model Y 2021, which I still have until today. I made some money on it. That's why I did it. And in 2023, I leased a Tesla Model 3, rear-wheel drive, LFP battery. This is for my son. My son is driving it. And I am going to return it next week or so and get him a used Tesla Model 3. Are you following me? And then a few months ago in April, I got the Tesla Model Y Juniper launch model with everything in it. I love this car more than anything. So I can say that I have probably between 500,000 or 600,000 miles driving Tesla cars because I take a lot of long trips. My wife and I and my family, I go to Florida. Anyway, long story short. Now, I wanted to examine, and I did this research on Grok and on ChatGPT, 10 negative things. I can come up with 100 things, but I try to focus only on the technical stuff. And anything that came up on the list was not news to me. It is something I know, I experience, and what was and what is and what still is, and I'm going to go over it. This video is especially for people who want to buy a used Tesla car. So that's very important. So let's start with the build quality. Everybody talked about build quality. I remember in the early days of Tesla, even Tesla Model S and then X, especially X is a very problematic car because of the wing doors and all that. People will make videos, even Cindy Monroe will make videos with a little ruler and it's a millimeter wider here than in here, and then this, and that doesn't fit, and the doors and the trims and the chrome, it's a little bit up and down. I've never seen it done to any car. Can we be honest here? It is a negative. I'm putting it because it is a negative. Tesla has been making cars on mass production, not on Tesla Model S and X were very low and still are. They barely are sold. In 2018, that was a Model 3, and really 2021, more than 500,000 a year. So it takes time. Ford and Mercedes, they've been around for 100 years. So it's no excuse, but it takes time. And as you know, 99% of car companies go bankrupt. I think Tesla is the only one so far, knock on wood, that is not gone bankrupt since 2000 and I always pick 2008 because that's when the Roadster came, not before. Anyway, so it is the most difficult business to have. So the fit and finish, the panels, the alignment, the squeakiness. I mean, listen, my Tesla Model Y, 2021 Model Y, until today, squeak, especially in low speeds. Highway, I don't hear it at all. So it was a problem. Is it now? I can only tell you, my Tesla Model Y Juniper, the 2026 they call it, it is as perfect as you can. It's a perfect car. So has improved. So if you are buying a Tesla, an old Tesla car, a used Tesla car, expect that this might happen. Not on all of them. Interestingly enough, my 2018 Tesla Model 3, outside it was really, really great. Something to do with the front where your seat is, because your butt rubs against it. I'm going to show you a video in a second. That was a problem. I'm going to show you a video in a minute because Tesla came to my house during COVID to fix it. So that's that. So Tesla 5-year-old, 10-year-old cars, they get less favorable, I would say, rating because of electronic issues and the body part. Look, I'm driving for more than 40 years. I drove almost any car you can imagine and owned so many of them. I remember my Ford Explorers, because I used to buy only Ford for like years. 3 years to the button, because it's 3 years, 36,000, remember? 3 years to the button, radiator, carburetor, injection fuel, shocks, all kinds. I mean, I spend so much money on that stuff. So Tesla cars, 5 to 10 years old, especially in the old model, just I'm going to say, watch out. Watch out, they might have some issues. Now, I have a Model Y 2021. I have 100,000 miles on it. Tesla did replace my battery, because it was like one cell, really, one circle. So Tesla doesn't, it will fix it later. They just put a new battery under warranty for 8 years, 120,000 miles, and that's that. Okay, so there are issues that can bring older Teslas down below. What I'm saying, my experience since 2018 to now is impeccable, but I can believe that fit and finish, everything I just listed to you, battery degradation and all that, it is something that every car has. And for battery degradation, I would say my experience is now 8%, 10% for a while now. It's just stopped. And I think my Tesla Model Y 2021, because that's the one that counts. And a Model 3, same thing, can drive, in my opinion, 500,000 miles. No issues. Then there was the issue of cheap materials inside, hard plastics, fit and finish inside. There were a lot, especially in the Model Y when it just came out in 2020. I had this issue in my Model 3 where you enter the car, your rear end rubs against it and it detaches it. I even have that issue in my 2021 Model 3. Okay, not in my Model Ys. It's because the way it's designed, and then Tesla came and fixed it, and it was not an issue. But it's still an issue the way it is designed. The materials today are much more refined. The Alcantara, the plastics are much more quality. Everything, the steering wheel leather quality. I tell you something. In hot countries, I go to Israel all the time. A lot of Tesla owners in Israel at the beginning, when it just came out 3 years ago, the entire steering wheel, the leather just peeled off. Just peeled off. And there was issues also with air conditioning. But that was remedied, fixed, and all that. So there were a lot of growing pains. Okay? Now, here's a disease. And that has not changed, and I don't think it will. And there's one man responsible for Elon Musk. Everything is delayed. Tesla is it's like delayed. I'm a school principal. We have something called delayed opening because of snow. This is delayed. FSD was supposed to be a thing in 2016, let's say. Okay, 10 years later, FSD today is the most amazing technology you can ever see. FSD is amazing. But next year, Elon Musk has two words. Next year and in 2 weeks. The update is going to be in 2 weeks from now. Oh, next year. But it gets done. Tesla Model 2, cheap models. I know there's a cheap Model Y, cheap Model 3. New affordable models like Tesla Model 2, whatever it is, it's coming. It ain't coming. Maybe it will come. I made a video about it yesterday. There's rumors that it's going to come. A hatchback, 25,000, blah, blah, blah. Not happening. Tesla making cars that exist already cheaper. That happen all the time. By the way, most of them ended up with a colossal failure. The last one was the Cybertruck. Okay, so that doesn't count. So more affordable models came and gone since beginning of time. Okay, including the Model S and the Model X. They came and they were just not successful. They were not attractive enough for all kinds of reasons. So the true affordable car design, no, even Model 3 was supposed to be affordable. I just have to say, in defense of Tesla, average car price in the United States is a little bit over $50,000. Model 3, the Model 3 standard, now for $37,000. The Model Y standard for $40,000. It's a lot of money, but it's much cheaper than the average. But the true sub 30 or 30 never came. And I don't count incentives. I do not count because they're all gone, at least on the federal level. Depends which state you are. It is different. So delay, promises not made. This is a Tesla DNA. That's what they do, and that's what it is. Now, service is interesting, and I'll tell you if you live in the United States or another country. Service has to do with where you live. I live in the Northeast. I live about an hour west from New York City. In my area, if you know northern New Jersey, there's Springfield, there's Paramus, there's Totowa. There's like 4 or 5 Tesla service or collision centers within 40 minutes from my house. And most of my repairs, whatever repairs I had, or tire changes, or whatever tire, swaps, all done at home or at my work. It's very rare that I have to go to the Tesla service center. But having said that, if you need something and you really need to take the car, it all depends where you live. You might live far, far away, and then it's a problem. So before you buy a Tesla, see what is their reserve, what's the service geography, what you can do, especially if you buy a used Tesla. That could be a challenge, to say the least. But the service itself is fantastic. When I had to swap my battery, my Model Y battery, they gave me a Model Y for 2 weeks, and it was great, and it was awesome. And one time there was a defect in the car, one of my cars, and that was warranted, and I got a car, and this and this and that. The service itself was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I broke a glass because a rock flew from a truck, and it was a couple days. It was great. But it's my experience in this very populated area where I live. It's not the experience of all Tesla owners, depending where you live in the United States or around the world. Again, let's go back to what we talked about: optimism, over optimism. Okay, if you're not optimistic, you have a miserable life. So I rather have optimism. But with Elon Musk, especially with FSD, it's not necessarily optimism, is illusion, delusion, but it gets done. It does get done. Okay, so sometimes you should be more cautious. I'm all for optimism. It's a great way to wake up in the morning when you're optimistic about the rest of your day. That is for sure. But sometimes you should be more cautious. Now, thank God it's not a thing at this point. It may come back. But Elon Musk getting involved in politics and Donald Trump and all that stuff, and I'm not taking a position, was a catastrophic move. It was a disaster. People like me, or Tesla owners, really suffered harassment, middle fingers. Tesla owners, cars were set on fire. Really, really bad. Really bad. I'm not, I believe in freedom of speech, say whatever you want. But it's sometime at one point, you can't be good in everything. Okay? You may be an engineer. Politics is a profession, and it's not an easy one. So I would leave it at that. So the brand damage, excuse me, was so bad that he took this many months to recover, and hopefully we don't have to deal with this. So the good name of Tesla really, really, really damaged by what Elon Musk did at the beginning of the year. And me and Tesla owners don't appreciate it, because we are shareholders as well, and hopefully he never does it again. It's really, really, really crap and uncalled for. I'm going to say it straight out. Now, in terms of safety, Tesla cars are very, very safe. They done all the time. But the Autopilot, the full self-drive and all that took a long time. If you remember the Phantom braking, there's a lot of issues with Tesla safety features. They have gotten so much better. And those older cars, if you choose to do that, always be cautious. Doesn't matter. I'm still cautious now. Always be cautious about using those. You can use them, they're very good, but you have to be cautious, and it depends which country you are, because FSD is not available in most countries in the world. Okay, so I wouldn't say it's shortcuts or things like that, but now going back, because I'm very enthusiastic, going back to 2018, I do feel it was like an experience. I do feel like a guinea pig. Okay, but if you use Tesla safety features correctly and you supervise, you're good. But it can put you to sleep a little bit. All right, guys, there's so much more I can talk about. I didn't talk about the Tesla stock, and I'm a Tesla stock owner because it's a different topic. But that's maybe for another time. But this is really meant for if you're buying a used Tesla car, because it's really a great idea to buy a used Tesla car. You can get a really good price, no matter where you buy it from. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching.